I always get surprised when the camera comes on. Hello!
Congratulations for joining us. Thank you very much.
Hi, and welcome to the Dada and Andy
You
show.
lucky people.
Well, it's true.
Oh, we're off to a great start.
Well, I mean, is that bad? Is that bad to say?
No, I'm kidding. Welcome to the Dada and Andy show.
Hola.
Well, we're going to keep our journal and collect our thoughts and share them with you and hopefully get some feedback from you and keep this party going.
Yeah, because nothing really happens unless we put it on the internet.
Well, before I had Facebook, which has been less than a year ago, I would always say just because it's not on Facebook doesn't mean it didn't really happen.
Right. It's just nobody cared.
But now I'm like, it's all on Facebook.
Right. Well, here we are.
Here we are, and it is another Tuesday night.
Yes.
In Playa Del Carmen.
Yes. Mexico, Quintana Roo.
Yes, and go Steelers. We don't get to do our blowout cheer, though.
Oh.
They didn't blow out on Sunday.
No, well, but go Steelers.
Yes, go Steelers, and in fact, it was not even a blowout.
It was very, very close, in fact. But it was a close game. But it was a W.
We have another one in the win column.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, for that last quarter, Ann and I both were like completely holding our breath. I couldn't watch. I was like hyperventilating. I was like walking away from the TV. And then the end with the confusion about if the guy made the last field goal, we were just like on an emotional roller coaster.
Well, I stopped watching, of course.
I know you walked away.
Because I have my heart is merely human, and I can't put up with the heart attack Steelers.
And I was like,
doing their bullshit again.
I can't breathe. And then I told you, I was like,
they made it.
They made the field goal because I thought I heard the ref go, "It's good." That's what I thought I heard. It's good.
It turns out, he said.
And then everybody's like walking off the field and they're shaking hands. And
because that's what they do before overtime.
Yes, that would put them in overtime.
Yeah, they'll shake hands before overtime, and then
we thought we were gonna have 15 more minutes of hell.
Or
but
whatever,
then it was just like, no, it was no good.
It was no good.
So the Vikings did not make
Titans.
The Titans.
Yeah,
I always think of them as Vikings. That's all right. That's all right. Mm-hmm. I still love you.
Common mistake. Titans, Vikings.
They did not make the last field goal to tie the game and bring it into overtime, and so we got a W.
Yes.
Which means we're
7-6-0. 6-0. 6-0.
You know.
6-0.
We're 6-0.
6-0.
The only undefeated team left in
the league.
In the NFL.
In the NFL.
Yeah.
The National.
Not just in our conference, but in the entire NFL.
Yes. The entire NFL.
So the last time the Steelers did that, they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and won it.
And won the Super Bowl.
So,
but they're playing
1978. So, but however,
that was in 1978.
Let me say this.
Yes. You say what you want. It's your show.
There are a lot of naysayers, which I call shitty people, who say the Steelers, they may have a great record this year, but they haven't played anybody good.
Well, the Titans.
Yes.
Were 5-0 when they went into the game.
5-0.
They were 5-0. We were 5-0. So that's a good team.
Yes, they were 5-0. They arrived 5-0 and they left 6-1.
No,
so,
they left 5-1.
5-1.
Yeah.
I don't math.
I thought I married a genius.
I don't math. I don't math good.
They left 5-1.
5-1.
And we left 6-0.
6-0. So we were the better team.
Who's the better team now?
We were the better team.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of calls that kind of went against us, which were kind of
I thought the refs were spot on.
Yeah.
I thought they were spot on. I mean, I've watched games where the refs definitely had it in for Pittsburgh.
Yes.
But I think they were calling both sides. They called two downing the balls. What do you call that?
Intentional grounding.
Intentional groundings against their quarterback.
Tannehill.
They never.
Who does that?
They never call that. Yeah. They never call intentional grounding. They called 2 against him in that game.
I think he was trying to be strategic about it.
Well, but he wasn't like Sly.
Yeah, no, Not Sly. Not Sly. Usually when you want to.
When he threw that first one, I was like, there was no one within 20 yards of that ball.
Yeah.
And then they called intentional grounding, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
They never do
call that
against anybody. So I don't know. I think the refs are getting their crap together.
I don't know. I felt that there was a couple potential pass interferences that would have gone in our favor, but well, whatever. We won.
We won.
And we covered the spread.
Yeah. What's the spread?
The spread, I think we were supposed to win by 3, and we won by 3.
Okay, but whose spread is that?
Or we were going to lose by 3. Yeah.
What?
Or we were going to lose by 3. No, Vegas had us losing by 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, screw Vegas.
Yeah, screw Vegas.
How about that? But I will say that the Steelers are causing an upset in our household just because of our future plans. In 2020, this year, back in February, before the pandemic started and everything started happening, you and I started noticing on the calendar, it's like, man, Mardi Gras is going on right now. That was February this year. And we were like, it's too late to go now, but let's go in 2021. Mm-hmm. We wanted to go to Mardi Gras. And so we planned it. We're like, okay, we're planning our next move for 2021. We're going to go to Mardi Gras, and then we'll head to Vancouver from there. We'll just do a little stop in New Orleans. Because you and I have never been to Mardi Gras together, and we thought it'd be a kick in the head. Yeah. So that was our plan for 2021. And then it started. And then we're like, we don't even know if they're going to have Mardi Gras.
They're going to have Mardi Gras. I don't think they're going to have, well,
and then, no, you were saying some of the old...
Oh yeah, the older white guy crews, they're still having it, but some of the newer, whatever,
more integrated
crews said no, we're not having it.
So there's going to be some parades, but not all the parades.
Right. So like Rex and fucking Bacchus and all those dickheads, they're having their stuff. Yeah, they're all going to ride, but they're going to be wearing masks.
Right.
So they're good, right?
And throwing COVID beads. But still, we were like, we're going. We don't care. Right. Beads of COVID.
Yeah,
like you just catch them with your gloves and hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
No, but we were already like, we're still going. We're going. But now that it looks like the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
But the Super Bowl is going to be delayed, maybe postponed, potentially.
Well, and that's another thing they're saying is the Super Bowl is going to be postponed past. It's usually in February.
First week. Yeah, we're trying to make plans here. That's the basic thing is that the world needs to realize that we're trying to make plans.
We're trying to decide if we were going to the Super Bowl or to Mardi Gras.
Right. Because we're not going to do both.
No, but we could.
Potentially.
We could. Well, I mean, they're like lumped. They're all in the kind of same time frame, possibly.
Within 28 days of each other, whatever.
But, well, yeah, the same month.
Yeah.
If the Super Bowl gets postponed, it might be postponed closer to Mardi Gras, and it might be in the Superdome. The Superdome has had more Super Bowls than any other stadium.
True.
Do we know where the Super Bowl is supposed to be held? Is it going to be in Vegas?
It's supposed to be in LA.
In LA. Okay.
But I don't know if it's going to be in like that crazy ass place where the Chargers and the Rams are playing. I don't know.
I don't know either. But I want it to be in Vegas because I want to go to Vegas for the Super Bowl.
Well, we can always go to Vegas for the Super Bowl. They may not be playing there.
That's what I want to do. No, but the thing about going to Vegas is that you can get into one of the best sports bar in like the entire country. Yep. You can have just the best access, just like awesome sauce.
People who know me know that one of my favorite things to do is to sit in a sports book in Vegas and eat chicken wings.
Sports book?
Yeah. And not bet any games, just play video poker sitting in a sports book eating chicken wings.
I know, neither one of us gamble.
We don't gamble. I play video poker for a quarter a turn. And that's to me that's fun.
I know. I've been to Vegas a few times. I'm always like, no, I'll just buy my drink, thank you.
Yeah, I just like eating chicken wings, and then I like going and wandering the casino and seeing if there's a good cover band playing.
Yeah.
And going and hanging out and watching the cover band. That's like.
That's the thing.
That's all I want to do.
Well, that's the thing about Vegas. Like, I can't see us going to the shows or shopping or like a lot of the Vegas stuff.
I'll go see a show.
You really?
Oh yeah.
What would you see?
Well, I saw
Britney Spears.
Yeah, I'd go see Britney Spears. Sure.
Why are you lying to make friends?
I would go see. You know it's going to be a great show.
Oh my God. I can just picture your face if I said like, hey, I got us 2 tickets to Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
You would just like go into like deep coma mode with the dead eyes.
I won't.
Just like fall over out of your chair.
I'll see Britney Spears.
And then I would be like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get Britney Spears.
I won't go see Celine Dion.
Oh, you won't? Or you
No,
won't?
I will not.
Okay, I know that.
I will not.
I thought you just said, I will go see Celine Dion. I was about to like.
Call me out.
Yeah.
I won't go. I won't go to Cirque du Soleil or any of its permutations.
What else is there?
Well, Britney Spears, evidently.
Well, I think her run is over, but I know she's.
And I won't go see. I won't go see any magicians.
Except I don't like magicians.
Except
either.
for maybe Penn and Teller. I'd see them.
No, I'm over them. I've seen them enough on TV. Their act is.
What else? What else would I see? I would see. I'd have to see.
I would see Bette Midler if she was there.
Is she alive?
Yeah, she's alive. I don't think she's in Vegas. I don't even know who's in Vegas. I don't think anybody's in Vegas anymore because I think they're not doing shows because COVID. Hello, COVID.
Wow.
What about Blue Man Group? Would you go see Blue Man Group?
That would be a no.
No, everything is really shut down. I mean, we've been, here quarantined for months. But
We're like quarantine. No, quarantine.
No, like everything's shut down. All of Broadway shut down. Off Broadway shut down.
Right.
All the entertainment is shut down. There was nothing. I don't know if.
Yeah, but Vegas is a lot more than that. I mean, there's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's shows and there's the show. There's a good eating.
There's the good restaurants.
They have a good deli. We can go get a fat burger. There's football. You can go get a fat burger.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I do want to go, though. I want to go. I want to do something special for the Super Bowl if the Steelers. The whole point being, if the Steelers go to the Super Bowl, let's do something special.
Okay.
And if we can't go to the game because it's at a stadium where they're not allowing people.
Oh, like
but like
the
a lot of
like the stadium in Vegas.
Right, but we can yes. If they're going to play the Super Bowl in any stadium that is not allowing people, then we can go to Vegas and watch the Super Bowl and make it fun.
Okay.
Or not. We can just go down to the Tequila Barrel down
I hate that
Quinta
place.
Avenida and
place
eat
smells like
the worst food in the history of food.
It smells like a gym locker.
That's why you don't go in the back room.
Ugh, it stinks. It stinks.
Anyway, the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. There's just no way around that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a leap.
No, it's not. The last time they were 6-0, like how many teams have ever started this season 6-0 and not went to the Super Bowl?
A bunch of them.
Who?
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to ask Suri. I don't have
You
my
don't have
watch
your
on
Siri
right
on.
now. But
Hey.
I'm going to ask Suri. And
Hey, watch
she's
that
gonna
isn't
tell me,
Siri.
And I'm going to put it on next week's show.
Right. Well.
No, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I mean, come on. They're playing
Pittsburgh's
like
going
incredible.
to the Super Bowl. Here we go. Doom, doom, doom. Here we go. Doom, doom, doom. Here we go.
Who are they going to
Steelers
play? That's the
in a
question.
show. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Saints.
Oh my
No,
God. Can you
Saints are AFC,
imagine?
aren't they? Or Saints are, no, Saints are AFC.
It's not the Cowboys. I know that. Poor Cowboys. Poor us. We're going to the Steelers-Cowboy game.
Oh.
I would rather have been to the Steelers-Titans game.
Well, going to see the Steelers play the Cowboys is kind of like going to Steelers just kind of show up and practice. I think at this point.
You say that, and I hope that that's true, but strange things happen in football. That's why it's called the game.
You know what's strange? Cowboys lost 35-3 against the Washington football team.
They've got something to prove.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway, that's enough about football. All I'm saying is I want to see the Steelers in the Super Bowl. I don't really care where it is, but it better be in Vegas.
Well, okay. LA is nice too. You can go see them play at
if they allow anybody in the stadium.
Yes, right, exactly.
Well, I'm not paying $4,600 for a ticket, seat. a seat.
I'll pay $4,600 to go on a dive trip, but not to go see the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though once in a lifetime.
What? Okay. So
But no, I don't want to pay that. I don't want to pay $5,000 a seat either. That's $10,000 just for seats. And there'll probably be more than that because COVID.
Yeah.
They're probably only going to sell 5,000 seats or whatever. That's why I'm like, let's just go to Vegas and watch it.
Okay.
That's a good trip.
Okay. We'll plan on it.
Okay. Okay, if the Steelers go to the Super Bowl, we'll see you in Vegas.
We'll have but we'll have 2 weeks notice to get it together.
Well, yeah, but you just buy we'll figure it out.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
Everything's an obstacle with you.
I'm just saying. These are things that must be accounted for, in our plans.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we're not buying $4,600 Super Bowl tickets a seat, but doesn't mean we can't see the Super Bowl in style. Your nickname is Mr. Upscale.
Yes, it is.
You're the one that's Mr. Upscale. I'm just saying I want to see the Super Bowl when the Steelers play in it.
I want to make sure that I have a nice room.
And that's fine. I'm just saying we're not even guaranteed to see the game from here, given the storms, Hurricane Zeta.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the hurricane in the room.
Are you been waiting all day to say that?
No,
Really?
I just came up with it right now.
That's a good.
I just came up with it right now, but I was thinking it's like you can't even count on watching the game here in Playa because nothing is dependable here.
Right. Because we got the Deltas, we got the Zetas.
Don't let the Delta Zetas in.
Don't let the Delta Zetas into your party.
Yes.
You Delta Zetas. Hit the bricks.
Last week when we live streamed, we had just dealt with Delta. Dealt with Delta. We just deltaed.
Yes. And now we just
Zeted.
We just got Zeted.
Last night.
Yeah. So, hurricanes. The thing about the people in the States is that everybody in the States, the United States, they have lots of warning before because those hurricanes are coming for 4, 5 days away.
They're announcing it all the time.
All the time. It's a heads up. This is coming. It's going to be a class 1, a class 2, yada, yada. Here in the Caribbean, you get 18 hours notice, maybe.
If you're lucky.
Maybe.
If you're lucky. And usually you don't hear about anything until it's over.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. Usually you don't hear about anything until the next day. It'll be, it was reported that everything closed.
Right.
Alcohol sales were ended at 1 a.m. yesterday.
Right.
Because for some reason in Mexico, they stopped selling alcohol at the drop of a hat.
Yes, all the time. So, but we stay informed because we're Americans, so we're obsessed about the weather. I
have a Weather Channel app on my phone. Yes. We're checking things. I check multinational news channels.
Yes, to see what the weather is.
To see what's going on. In anything.
United States,
Mexico's slow.
That's what we do in the States. I mean, in Mexico, nobody knows what the weather's going to be because the weather patterns here tend to be very consistent.
No, everybody stands outside and kind of feels the wind and looks at the sky.
There's rain coming.
And
yeah.
It's
Then all of a sudden, before you know it,
and then
all the fishermen are hauling their boats in. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, kind of bad for them, but because we can see the beach from here, the beach where we are has a lot of fishing boats that are anchored there. It's just the area where it is. I don't know, north and south of there, there's about would you say 100 yards of just boats anchored out in the water?
More, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's a few deep, maybe a half a dozen deep, but for about 100 yards, right in front of our condo, there's the fishermen's boats.
Yes.
And you see them a storm, they'll bring them all up to shore and put them in the sand and they have them all lined up. Yeah. The worse the storm is, the more boats that get hauled off, and they start bringing trucks in. They get them on trucks. This is all done manual labor. They get their buddies together, or I don't know if they hire crews but it's manual
I think
labor.
they help each other. I think they're all in the union. They help each other.
Yeah, they help each other with their boats. And so they were just spend the day like bringing all of these boats in. And if the weather's getting worse, they have trucks that they come and put their boats on, and then the trucks haul all the boats away. And then the next day after the storm, here come all the boats back again.
So fishing boats, dive boats.
Yeah. And so last week they had the tropical storm, and then the week before that, they had the tropical storm. All the boats came in, and then all the boats went back. And then it was Delta. All the boats came in, and all the boats went back. And then this week it was Zeta.
Yeah.
All the boats came in,
And they'll be back tomorrow.
and they're starting to go back.
Yeah.
But we just watch it. We just watch the boats come in and out.
Yeah.
You have some really nice photos of the boats.
Oh yeah,
on
yeah,
land.
yeah. But so Zeta is the second class, I guess, 1 hurricane that's hit here in the last 2 weeks. That's a lot of hurricanes.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. Well, Delta was a class 2, wasn't it?
It always started at 4 and it landed as a 2.
Yeah.
But this one this Zeta did a lot more destruction. Had a lot more. I think it seems. Well, maybe it just hit us more directly.
It might have hit us more directly, which they were predicting, but also there might have been some preliminary damage done by last week.
Right.
That when Zeta hit, it just kind of finished it off. Because we went and rode our bikes this afternoon, and we're like, where's all this glass from? We're like riding through the street, and it's covered with that
Broken safety glass.
safety glass.
Yeah.
Just little safety glass pebbles everywhere. And we stop and we start looking at the buildings, and there was a lot of glass
Broken, yeah.
blown out. And at this one apartment building, there was a whole corner apartment that was like just blown straight through. Like all of the glass was blown out of it. And on the ground level, all of the glass, I don't know, it's on the railing.
It's like a wall. It's like a glass half wall.
It's like a half wall that people use for the railings of their balconies or decks, and that whole row of glass was blown out.
It was gone, yeah.
So it was, and we saw like large trees uprooted and overturned.
We had a couple of those glass half walls knocked out here too.
Out of here, like one apartment building over or condo building over and like one floor up. That's the only one I saw that was knocked out.
But we had no damage.
Not in our apartment. So yeah, it was pretty hectic, but it came early and it left early. But it did leave us without power this morning.
Well, the power went out at as soon as it came in, so like at 8:30, power went out
last night. But we didn't care because we had already downloaded our movies and we had our
we were watching Netflix.
Apparatuses charged up. And we were like, we're good.
So we watched that until it was time to go night. So we went to sleep, listened to the storm rage as we fell asleep, and then
I slept all night without AC, which is like very unusual for me.
You did good.
Yeah.
Then we got up the next day, and power was still out.
Power was out, and we're like, we didn't make coffee.
We didn't make coffee the night before because last time we made coffee and just kept it, cold so we could drink it, and that was
so we would have something with caffeine.
Right. But this time we didn't have any coffee. But it was very strange because as soon as you woke up, power came back.
Coffee.
We were able to make the coffee.
We're drinking the coffee. Yeah, life's good.
Life's good. We got our coffee.
Right.
And then what happened?
We get the coffee going, and then like boom, lights out.
Lights out again.
We're like, oh.
So the power goes out again.
But it was like boom, 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 boom.
So the power went out, and it was like it would like tease, like every now and again it would come back but then shut back off.
And you had a presentation to do at 1:00 this afternoon.
1:00 this afternoon. So I'm working offline the whole time. I'm just working on documents, putting my presentation together because I couldn't count on the internet being up because, of course, I only have 4 hours worth of backup on my internet connection for now. So I was using the internet.
Saving it.
I was using the internet sparingly, and I was going to use it just for my company meeting. And but sure enough, and as soon as I was going to give my presentation, and I hobbled everything so I could just give the presentation.
It was like 20 minutes before your presentation was scheduled to kick off.
Yeah, and then boom, the power comes up.
Whoop.
But then you're like, well, can I trust it? Because it's been going up and down the whole time. He's like, can I trust this as being the power is being back up? And before I know the presentation starting, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm trusting it. And I start sort of rushing through the presentation a little bit. It wasn't a very long presentation as it was, but
I'm sure the recipients, appreciated that.
My topics tend to be a little dry. So that's what I did. I kind of got the presentation done, but the power's been up since then.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
It was it was just perfect. It came on to get coffee, and it came on for your presentation, and life is good. Oh, and it stayed on for us to do the live stream.
Well, it's been on. Yeah. Hi. Bright lights, got cameras, we got internet connections, we got all kinds of things.
Life's good. And no storms in sight.
Oh, really?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think so.
It's windy out there still, but it's not too bad.
It is. I thought that was the tail end of Zeta.
Yeah.
So we went and got some dinner at a little cafe around the corner from us that was open, and they had the Zeta menu up. It's like, this is all we have, folks. They didn't have electricity. A lot of the restaurants will run without electricity. They'll just have like a cooktop, whatever they can.
Cooktops and bags of ice for the drinks.
Yeah. So we had you could have like a quesadilla or
nacho.
A nacho or, a little something, something.
It was good.
A mojito.
Mojito. And,
the new favorite drink, I started drinking them. Andy's been drinking them for a while, but he'll order a mojito sin azúcar.
Yes.
So mojito with no sugar. It's just the lime and the mint and the rum and the club soda, and it's so good.
Tasty.
Yeah, I love that drink. Anyway, that was good.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
But people getting out, cleaning up the place, and I renewed a broken friendship because of the hurricane. My friend had a couple of requests for me to help her with, and so I helped her with that, and I was so happy to do that. And it was like, okay, good, we're good again.
Good. That's nice.
Favors were given, and it was like, okay, we're on a good side.
Good.
Yeah, that made me happy.
So
the hurricane did a good thing.
Yes, it was. I mean, I hope that people weren't too adversely affected by it. I mean, it was.
I don't think so. Besides the damage to that one apartment, I mean, I rode most of the area today. Most of the coastline, I guess, in Playa del Carmen this morning on my bike. When the electricity was out, I was like, well, I don't have anything else to do. You were working. I was like, I'm going to go ride my bike.
Right.
And it didn't seem like any more damage than what we'd seen before, except for the glass issues.
Right.
But further down, things seemed okay. But I know that you saw online that some of the resorts were having a hell of a time.
Yeah, they got just
north of us, right?
Yeah, just north of us, just south of us. People had cabanas or whatever, and I think that one of our palapas or a few palapas in our beach club got knocked over.
Oh, maybe.
So people who had shoreline structures, those usually took a hit. So what do you do?
It was a hurricane. So hopefully that's the last one. Hurricane season runs through into November.
Yeah, but I've got more battery backups on the way. So
I said, Andy, you throw that battery backup away right now because that's the second time it's failed you. It only works when the electricity's on.
I know. So it works as so if you have like a brownout, it works fine. Or if it's like if it's just a short blackout, it works great. But if it's like an extended blackout,
it's a hurricane.
Not gonna work. Whereas the cheapest chips backup guy that I have over there powering the modem, it's like super reliable. So I bought.
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm buying 2 more of those.
I'm wondering if we should just get our own generator.
Thought about it, but they have to worry about fuel.
Yeah, but whatever's dependable.
Well, yeah. The thing, yes, generators are dependable. The thing about generators is that they have to kind of run all the time. So you have a finite amount of time in which they will run, period.
Until you run out of fuel.
And then you run out of fuel. You can stop it, right? And then you can just, if you can assume that you're only going to use that generator So what you do is you figure out, it's like, well, I need to have it running for 8 hours a day so I can power all my stuff reliably for 8 hours a day. Then you say, well, how many of those days worth of fuel can I store reliably, you know? And it's like, well, then you got to do the calculation. Is that like a 5-gallon jerry can, or, you know, multiples of those? It gets kind of crazy. And then you're like, okay, well, can you just store gas?
Well, we just haven't been out of power for that long.
No. We haven't. So I've been
We
thinking
haven't
about
been
this
marooned on a desert island.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, it's like, you know, I just don't want to be in a situation where all of a sudden my work starts suffering because I'm living in the tropics, you know. So that's all. And we've had an unusually bad hurricane season. It's just been insane here. These Class 1 hurricanes haven't hit here, or Class 2 hurricanes, they just don't hit here.
But now you're a hurricane veteran, because now you're on your like second or third one.
Yes, I am with that.
You were a hurricane virgin before you moved here during hurricane season.
I was not a cyclone virgin, though. I've been to cyclones, but I'm a moron.
You're great. Well, how do you feel? Okay, well, we don't want to get back on the hurricane. Oh, no, we were just like closing out the hurricane thing. Are you a hurricane veteran?
No. I've just been through hurricanes.
But now you feel okay about it? You don't feel like...
Oh, freaked out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel freaked out. I'm fine. Okay. I'm just saying, you know, I was thinking, it's like, maybe we should get a little camp stove or something like that so we can, like...
Make some coffee.
Make some coffee in the morning. Because I was, like, kind of sweating not having coffee in the morning. It's like, having hot coffee is important, you know? I'm like, can I light the grill? And like,
I'm always like, well, let's just put it in the microwave. Ah, damn.
It's like, maybe we can have the backup battery make coffee. That's a big backup battery to make coffee.
I was like, why can't we figure out a way to plug the coffee maker into my brick? My charging brick.
Because it doesn't have enough juice to make coffee.
I was just spinning through my own cycles.
And I like it. But these electronic devices use very little electricity. Coffee pots use a lot of electricity. So. But I was thinking buying, you know, a little camp stove with a little gas. They don't cost nothing. It'll boil a little pot of water, like your little tin cup there. You can make cowboy coffee. We're all happy.
Oh, I love cowboy coffee.
I know you do.
I haven't had any in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just get like a little propane,
a
little burner. For just like emergencies.
Yes, emergency. And then we can...
But you know what? The universe provided. We got up and we had coffee.
And then I worked offline, and then I had power.
And then you had power. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you, universe. When I lay down in bed at night, tonight, I'm going to thank the universe.
Okay, good.
And I'm going to push your good fortune forward.
Oh, thank the universe for me, too.
What?
Thank the universe for me, too.
You will.
Give the universe my regards.
You're so funny.
I'm an idiot. So.
I will give the universe your regards.
All right.
Okay.
What
else do we have? How are we doing on time? We're good. Okay.
Okay.
So we have a few miscellaneous items we wanted to cover since we're remote here doing our remote things. And the first one on the list.
Go Steelers.
Is no.
Yeah.
Andy's voting.
I voted.
No, you haven't voted.
I haven't voted, but
you are in the process of voting.
My ballot will be on its way tomorrow.
No, the day after tomorrow.
You're leaving on the 28th?
Yeah. Isn't that the day? I don't have my stupid good watch.
Is today the 26th or what day?
Today's the 26th.
27th. Today's the 27th.
It is?
Yes. So my ballot is leaving tomorrow.
It's on its way to Kansas.
Yes, where it'll be put in the mail.
By a Kansansian.
Kansansian is not a Kansansian. I think Kansansians are from Kansansia. Where is Kansansia?
I don't know.
It's like Canadians are from Canada.
I was just like throwing it out there.
I like it,
see
though.
what sticks.
He's from Kansansia.
So Andy decided he's going to vote remotely.
Yes.
But of course, he missed the deadline to put it in the envelope
so we don't have a consulate, a U.S. consulate here. We have a consular office, which is...
Who knows what they do.
Who knows what they do there. But they had a very narrow window in which you could take your absentee or mail-in ballot to them, and they would make sure that it got to the states.
Yeah, I think it was in like 2019.
Yeah. It was like, oh, you can get it as long as you get it here before the 2nd of March. You're good. Oh, anyway, it was a long,
missed the deadline.
long time ago.
You missed the deadline, and so like a week or two ago, you contacted them like a week ago, I think.
2 weeks ago, something.
No.
A week ago.
And you asked them, can you still carry my ballot? And they were like, yeah, we can take it, but it's going to take 4 weeks to get there.
It's like you just have to take it to Merida.
What's the point?
You just have to take it to Merida. It was like 2 hours away.
It's not going to make it on time.
No, so needless to say, I had to come up with alternate
travel plans for your ballot.
My ballot, yeah. Which a ballot.
I would have taken it for you. You know, I'll fly to Dallas in a drop of a hat.
Yes, I know.
I could have taken it. I'm not voting, but I could have taken your.
Well, I reached out to our expatriate community to see if anybody was going home, because I figured somebody was going home for Thanksgiving.
Somebody's going home.
Or whatever.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving's like weeks away from
going
election.
home. Somebody was going home. And I found somebody was going home. And
we hope that he's not going to trash the ballot.
There's only so much you can do, right?
So I would like for you to tell the audience what you went through to get your ballot together. What does the government require you to do?
Well, I have to apply for an absentee ballot, a mail-in ballot. So that's a document. Then I went through the voteabroad.com or .org people, because they'll take all your information and automatically fill out your application to get a ballot. And then the ballot has to be,
do they send you an electronic ballot from?
Yes, you get an electronic ballot back. So Bexar County, San Antonio, which is the last place we live in the United States, is where I'm supposed to vote. And I sent my application in, and the voteabroad.org has a thing where you can, scan in your signature or something like that, and it'll put it onto the application and send it in. Well, Bexar County rejected that, saying, no, we don't take that. You need to actually physically sign it and scan it and send it back.
Oh, get out. Yeah. I didn't know that part of it.
Oh, yeah. So then I had to print out.
I didn't realize they rejected that. Did you tell your dad about that?
Oh, my dad had lots of other things to worry about. So I printed out the...
But he's specifically worried about voters.
Yes.
And your inability to vote by your God-given right.
It's actually given by the Constitution. But anyway, so I printed out the damn thing, signed it, and scanned it with my camera, sent it to them, and they accepted it, and they sent me my ballot. So the ballot, what you have to do is you have to print it, and then you have to print the front and the back pages that get stuck on the envelope in which you're going to send this in.
Oh, just buying an envelope in Playa Del Carmen.
Nobody has these things anymore because nobody mails anything anymore.
Nobody uses envelopes in Mexico because nobody mails anything in Mexico.
Because everybody pays for all their bills at the convenience store.
Yeah.
You can pay your power bill, your electric bill. You can recharge your cell phone. You can pay your credit card bills. You can transfer money to your friends and family.
Everything at the convenience store.
You just go to the convenience store and do all these things.
Nobody mails anything. And I went to one of the largest grocers in the city. It's huge, and they do not sell envelopes.
Yeah, sell envelopes. So
nobody sells envelopes. So you have to go to a special papeleria.
A paper goods store.
A paper goods store, and they have one envelope.
Yeah.
And that's the envelope you get.
So I got the envelope, and I filled out my ballot, printed my ballot, filled it out.
Then we had to go on the hunt for either a glue stick or some clear tape.
Because they had to stick these panels onto the front and the back of the envelope, otherwise it's not going to count. So we didn't have any tape, and we didn't.
Or a glue stick.
So I had to go to another papeleria to buy a glue stick. So I've used 1% of a glue stick. If anybody needs 99% of a glue stick, I've got one. I'll sell it to you cheap.
The thing is, it's like hours upon hours of like trying to get all of the things to go through the processes and go through the things to get this together. Then you had to go take it to another person and ask them to sign it.
Yeah, then they have to sign the back because they're carrying it as the mailer. They have to sign it in the back, otherwise it's not going to count. So I instructed the volunteer who's carrying this thing, or assistant actually is the terminology for it, where to fill out and sign this thing and make sure that they drop it off in the mail. And then I get a number that I can go and track to make sure that my ballot gets counted.
How do you get your number?
It's I get a barcode issued to me.
How do you receive that?
When they send me my ballot, they give me a unique barcode that's associated with my ballot, so I can go and check to see if my ballot was counted.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah. Last Saturday, I swam 2 miles in the ocean. It was less work than for you to cast your ballot.
Yeah. It's true.
In the U.S. presidential election. It was less time, less work by like a fraction.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, I would like to count the man hours it took to do that. It took me 1.5 hours. I bet it took you like 4 or 5 hours.
Like 6.
Yeah, 6 hours to cast your ballot.
Yep.
That's what they say. They make it difficult.
That's the idea, right? Is they don't want people to vote. Because if people vote, they tend to vote more liberal. The more people who vote, the more people tend to vote liberal because they want stuff, you know.
They want things.
They want things. So the less people vote, the more conservative the outcome tends to be. So
crazy.
yeah.
I wonder if it's easier or harder to vote in Mexico. I wonder what the voting's like.
It's super easy.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they do
Barely
it
an inconvenience.
I think they do it on a Sunday, like it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. Do they?
Yeah, something like that. It's like on a day off, and it's like your right to have the day off or something like that. I think it's like on a Sunday, and I think like all public transportation is free, and it's it's crazy.
They give a lot of concessions for give the people the ability to go easily vote.
Yes, and everybody gets a national voters registration card. You don't have to register to vote every year.
Mm-hmm. It's a 10-year card.
It's a 10-year card, and you can it's a useful document, so you're not going to lose it. You
get discounts.
Well, it's a useful document. It's an ID card. You can use it as an ID card if you don't have a.
Well, I did read that your voter's registration card in Mexico is the primary identification card.
Yes.
It's not a driver's license or a passport or anything else. It's the voter registration card is the primary ID that everybody uses.
Yeah, because not everybody wants to drive or needs to drive.
Yeah, especially in the big cities like in Mexico City.
It's not a state ID card, which is like some weird. Anyway, so United States is like suggested having a national ID card, but everybody freaks out about it, because they think if they're impinging on.
You gotta stand. You don't want to be counted.
Yeah, you don't want to have
be in your bunker without any. You gotta be under the radar.
People are crazy.
Nobody can find you in your bunker. I don't know.
Well,
I don't want to start a rile up. There
is a biblical precedent, right? And it's in Revelations, and everybody gets all wrapped around the axle about it. And it has to do with the number of the beast, right? And they were talking
666.
The 666.
666, as they say.
And they were talking about how people who didn't bear the number of the beast would be forbidden to do commerce. So you would be like barred from the economic system. And that's the rationale that a lot of crazy people in the United States give for not having a national ID card, because they say that it's the mark of the devil.
Yeah. Because we don't need an organized way to account for 350 million people that live in your country.
No, it's no.
That's like unreasonable.
We don't want to be beholden to the dark one in order to have convenience.
It's crazy times, man.
Anyway,
But anyway, speaking of America, tomorrow is a big anniversary for us. It's our anniversary. Don't you remember?
Oh, that's right. It is our anniversary. It's our anniversary of when we left the United States.
Yes, it's when we left the United States.
Is that? Oh, there it is. Yeah, sure enough.
No, it's a special anniversary.
Yes.
But what's the anniversary? It's the day we left the U.S.
3 years.
3 years ago. And it was the craziest thing for me because it's the first time in my life ever I bought a one-way ticket to go anywhere, much less leave the country.
Yeah, well.
I've never bought a one-way ticket in I think it was early September. We just picked the day And we said, we're doing it. Let's buy our tickets. And we bought 2 tickets to Mexico City one way. They were like $157 a ticket. And we were like, if something happens and we can't go on that date, it doesn't matter, because they were just $157 tickets.
We bought them though. We bought them and we worked toward that day.
And we had several weeks.
Yeah.
And then
remember the last couple of days were the tiny house? Right? Weren't we in an Airbnb for like the last little chunk of it?
The tiny house over on Vance Jackson.
Yeah, something like that.
Around there on Airbnb.
Yeah.
And we packed up all our stuff. I still have a picture of all the stuff that we packed up and left with. So tomorrow's our anniversary. 3 years we will have been gone from the U.S., from San Antonio. And it was funny, like, because for the first year it was funny. I don't tell the joke anymore, but I'm just going to tell this one last time.
Okay.
We left 3 years ago. We started working on leaving
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And people always would ask us, like, why did you guys move? Why did you leave? And we'd say, oh, all of our Republicans said after Trump got elected, if you don't like it, then you're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
So we did.
We did. And we said, what's the joke?
That was the joke.
Oh, no, we said that we're waiting for Trump to make America great again, then we'll come back.
And then we'll come back.
Yeah.
But my prediction is he's going to win again. I know not everybody wants to hear that.
Whether he's elected or not, he's going to win. So, and if he doesn't win, there's going to be widespread violence in the United States, and we're all going to wish he had won.
So you think there's not going to be, it's just not going to be easy in any event?
Well, I mean, it's going to be easy if he wins, because all his raging nutcase, gun-toting jagoffs will go home and just continue to beat off to pictures of him, like they're doing now. Or otherwise, they're just going to arm themselves and go to the streets. I mean, they're going to go and harass voters as it is. So, because democracy scares them and all that other good stuff. But whatever, So yeah, that's the only way that there's going to be peace in America, is that if Trump wins. Otherwise, we're just going to have to endure strife. Or people in the United States are going to have to endure strife, because if Trump loses, there will not be a peaceful succession of power. And I've lived in countries where there hasn't been a peaceful succession of power, and people die. And it's like it's not a laughing matter. It's like people getting rounded up and shot is not fun. So anyway, it's just one of those things. It's like. It's one of those things that it's going to be insanely horrible. Hopefully not, but if it turns out that Trump doesn't win, it's going to be insanely horrible. It's going to be what's the word I'm looking for? It'll be horrifying. It's going to be horrifying, and then Americans will all gather together and rally together and clutch their pearls, you know what I mean, and all have a very weepy moment, well-deserved weepy moment, and say never again, and then we will go on a happy path for another 40 years until we forget about it all over again, and then 1968 happens again, and in 2000 happens again. You know what I mean? It's we have short memories. We have very short memories, and like as a comparison to people in Europe, people in Europe understand that World War II was a bad thing, and it was not that long ago. Therefore, they're very anxious to not have World War II happen again.
They were decimated by World War II. The United States was not.
The United States was not.
Not on its home,
Yeah, it wasn't visited on our soil, So, yeah.
So even the worst thing that happens to the American people is not the worst thing that happens to people.
There were I don't even know what the number was, 5 million displaced peoples after World War II. These are people whose homes went away. Can you imagine you have 5 million, and the population of the United States is higher than it was in Europe by then, then by I think there was 100 million people in Europe at the beginning of World War II, and there were 5 million people who were displaced. So you figure that's 5%. So you take 5% of the American nation. That's, 15 million people wandering around the United States.
Oh, it's more than that.
Yeah.
5% of the population, there's 350 million people in America.
It's like,
In the United States, so 10% of that's 350,000, so half of that's 125, 250,
10% of that is
150, 175. I'm up to 175,000.
No, we're talking like 15 million people.
50?
15 million people displaced.
15 million is not 5% of the U.S. population.
It isn't?
Mm-mm.
No. I don't do math. So like 10% of the United States population. 10% of the United States
Hey, Siri.
You don't have a theory.
I know.
So
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, people wandering.
350,000 would be 10% of the American population.
No, 30 million. 36 million would be 10%.
You're right.
Okay. So
so like 17 million.
Yeah, 17 million people.
Okay.
So imagine 17 million.
Now.
Okay. So imagine 17 million Americans wandering the country trying to find a place to live.
There's probably that many Americans that have been displaced since the Trump administration.
Well, certainly since COVID.
Displaced meaning like, yes.
Lost their jobs. But, it's not happening to you. So it's like a lot of people don't have the compassion. It's like, how did I, people ask, people say, it was like, well, how did you do it? Whatever. We did great. Through the Trump administration, did great. Don't feel great about it, but, financially we're like, very, whatever. But it sucks because, you want to be able to feel good about America, and I know that was Mr. Trump's big message, but I don't feel any better about America. I feel a lot worse about America since he's taken office. So
do a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
On both sides of the aisle.
Yeah. And this is not a political live stream, so I'm not going to get on it, but it's like, I guess it kind of became one. So, anyway.
Well, the election's coming up, so there's just no way around it. If you're a living, breathing, thinking person, it's like you're aware that this is going on, and it's a time for 4 more years of the same, or a time for change. I, for one, would like to see some calming down happening.
I'd like to see some people building some bridges. Yeah. We're not going to.
It's difficult. I mean, what we read and see that's happening in America is horrifying. I mean, to us, I don't know, how everybody feels that's there, how they feel about it, but I think that there's a lot of people horrified there.
Great. I think that there's the problem that we have is that so Mike Bowling joined. He says they're all crooks in different ways. It's like, yeah, well,
that's the oldest argument in the book, and I agree. And on both sides of the aisle, forever and ever, every politician has the way that they get into the pockets of everyone.
Because they need the money.
Because, yes, they need the money, and usually for re-election, but every politician is in somebody's pocket for something. But I feel like this is a different scenario.
I don't know.
But everybody has said, as long as I've been an adult, as long as I've been able to vote, as long as I've been talking to other voters, everybody always says they're all the same, they're all on the take, they're all in the pockets of everybody else. And don't you feel like this is something a little different? Do you feel like Trump's doing something a little different than being in the pockets of the American people?
Yeah. I think that there is a fracture, that has occurred across the American electoral public, or across American public, that it hasn't benefited anybody, and I would argue that the platform that the Republican Party has adopted of late, and I'm not saying forever, but I think of late the Republican Party's faction and people, especially the people who believe in Trumpism, is that it is better to piss off the liberals than to say anything positive about yourself. And I don't think that that is anything other than bullying. And whatever, that's my stance on it. And I think that, so I would rather vote for somebody who is in favor of reconciling the fracture that we currently have in the United States, rather than somebody who feels that they are trying to punish what they consider to be the other. And I think that that is the case. So Mike says he's very polarizing. He's really separated Americans, and that is the shame of it. I agree. There's no reason. There's no reason. Really, no reason for it. The United States is the greatest country in the world for a lot of good reasons, and and I don't think that there is any. I don't think that there's any reason why we can't see our way out of it.
Well, you just want to see America on a path to continual improvement, right?
Yeah.
You're a quality guy.
Yeah.
And I just felt like over the last few presidencies, you felt like you saw that. You felt like no matter who it was, if it was a Republican or a Democrat, through the Bushes and the Clintons and the Obamas and the other Bushes and all the presidents in our lifetime, you felt like you saw improvement of America year after year and term after term of these presidents as they went in and went out. This is the first time I have ever seen like a crumbling of America. The way it is just like, right? it just feels like it's crumbling. And, I just don't know if the country can take 4 more years of that. And I think, we need to strive towards some peace there.
Well, I think that the country can take it. The country could
4 more years of the last 4 years.
Oh yeah, the country could take it. It's just going to be at the expense of our stature internationally, right? And at the expense of the regard that we as a nation have for our government.
Well, I couldn't care less what other nations think about the United States. And I know that politically it's like we have to have a certain stature that puts us in a position where we're not challenged and that type of thing, but like in a military space. But my thought is that you really need more, I don't want to sound like a super liberal saying this, but something within the country more than what other people outside of the country think about the country. We really want people to have respect and consideration within the country for the citizens, for each other, rather than citizens of other nature or other nations or governments of other nations, and their respect and regard and consideration for our country, to me, is less than what citizens can do for each other. Because that whole sticking together and being a united America is important, and even regarding the respect of other nations.
Yeah. That's why united we stand, right? United we stand.
Exactly.
Was one of our mottos, and
we're falling apart in front of the whole world.
Yeah. And
it's ugly and it's horrifying, and it doesn't make anybody feel good.
Well, and it plays right into the hands of, I think, entities that are out there, international entities out there that they don't want to see us fail, but would rather replace us in the global stage. They would rather see themselves, or at least see our influence diminish on the global stage.
Absolutely. And the leaders of those countries can point right to the things that are happening to our country and say, look at the riots, look at the murders, look at the disarray, look at all the bad things that are happening in what's supposed to be the greatest nation on earth. And have disdain for them,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
because we're pathetic.
We're showing weakness.
Well, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
So, you know, it lifts up other governments over ours.
Yeah, it gives them, you know, it gives them a feeling of entitlement, right? Entitled to have an opinion. You know, a lot of governments out there have always had, you know, disdain for us, right? Because
Absolutely, they always have.
but we're giving them too much ammunition.
We're giving them, fodder. You know, right. It's just something that they can, you know, throw back in our face, and it's like, how can other nations trust our country and trust our leaders when we don't even have ourselves under control, when we are in complete disarray? And so the infighting, how can we think about protecting ourselves as a country when we can't even stop fighting among ourselves long enough to have an understanding of anything else that's going on in the world?
Yeah, you know, and I think about, you know, because growing up, I had a lot of interactions with a lot of, you know, Marines and other people in the U.S. military service abroad, and I think about them, you know, and I fear for them, because they, you know, the people who would rather see America fail rather than see America succeed would much rather attack a weaker America than a strong America. Mm-hmm. And I think that the Trump, I won't say the presidency, but I think that ideology that has been espoused by the people who have allowed Trump to be elected have weakened America, and they've weakened our standing abroad. They've weakened us militarily, you know, especially when you have a president who's openly disrespectful of our military and our people in uniform. It's, you know, I think that it just gives a lot of solace and hope to those who want to portray us as, you know, the wounded lion, or, you know, or whatever, you know. And anyway, I'd rather that not be the case, because I have too much appreciation, too much respect, and too much love for people who have decided to, you know, give their youth, you know, to our nation, right? And
it all started with McCain, with the whole thing about, like,
disrespecting, you know, one of our most valued, one of the most valued, if the most valued veteran that we had of the Vietnam era, and just turning him into a laughing, turning him into a laughing stock. That's like, that's the height of, it's not treason, but it's just disrespect, you know. And
that's where it started, and because that got, you know, positive feedback, laughs and cheers and right-ons, it's like that kind of mentality just continued over the last 4 years, and it's horrifying. It's horrifying. So I'd rather be done with it. I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Biden or, you know, the Democrats offered the best answer, but it is the only viable answer that is being offered, and I'd just rather be done with it. You know, I'd just rather be done with what the Republicans have to offer for now, you know. For now. You know, maybe in 2024, things will be brighter on both sides of the aisle. You know, maybe the Republicans and the Democrats will come to the table with some, you know, something better ideas. Better. Something better. But for now, it's like I don't have my calendar. We're 2 weeks away. Yeah, we're at 2 weeks exactly away from the 2 weeks away from, you know, a very important day, I think, in American history. Yeah. And anyway, I hope. Thank you to all our friends that have gone out and voted. First of all, everybody. I know you've been, like, thanking people on Facebook and on social media. Thank you, everybody who's voted, regardless of who you voted for. As long as you've taken the time to participate in the process, and I am very grateful to all of you for doing that, regardless of who you voted. And I mean that honestly. And it will be it's going to be a big deal. I think there's going to be more voters this cycle than ever before. I think it's going to be record-breaking. Well, it is not statistically impossible, and we know about statistics,
but it's not statistically impossible for Trump to win. But it's nearly statistically impossible for Trump to win at this point. And
but is he leaving if he doesn't win?
But the thing is that it's. But if he does end up winning, and everybody's going to point at the United States and say, "Oh, you guys are Venezuela now," that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because then we will have to be in the unenviable position to have to make an extraordinary argument as to why he won. An extraordinary, and you never want to be making extraordinary claims about your democracy, ever. And that's the position we'll have to be in. So, I don't know. I mean, that's a whole other angle that freaks me out at this point. It's that the polls are going so in favor of Biden that if Trump ends up winning,
But the polls were so in favor of Hillary 4 years ago, and Trump still won.
But not to this point. Not to this extent. Not to this extent.
Does it matter? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like.
Otherwise, why weren't people throwing up their hands 4 years ago? Because we have the Electoral College.
It's still the best place to be on earth, except Cancun. Mike Bowling says, like, well, yeah.
Mike,
yes, I do.
That's one thing we can agree on.
Yeah.
And we miss you guys. Come and visit us, and we still welcome you into our home.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have plenty of room.
And we love you, and we don't care who you voted for.
Nope, not for a second. As long as you voted.
As long as you voted.
Gotta vote. But what was I saying? Yes, I think that Trump is going to win. I'm saying it right now. I believe that Trump is going to win. I don't believe that he will win legally, but I believe that Trump is going to win.
I don't know. I think that Trump has a lot of international supporters on his side.
Yes.
International supporters.
International. That's the way to put it.
Big government. He has a lot of big governments on his side, and it's hard for the American people to, He has a
lot of international supporters. That's one way to say it. Trump has a lot of international supporters. So.
That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. But
anyway, there's that.
Yeah. We need better hackers on our side, is what it is. We need better counter hackers.
I don't know. I just want America to be okay, and I want it to be okay now. I mean, I know it's like we can live 4 more years through anything. It's gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, we'll be fine.
I remember when George W. won his second term. I was like, oh my God, it's terrible. It's like it's never gonna be okay, and it was.
Totally.
So.
Oh, if George Jr. was just running right now.
I know. I would take Jenna. I would take what's the other sister's name?
She was a Barbara, right?
Barbara and Jenna.
Yeah,
I would take either one of those girls. Yeah. It's like we need to
I'll take Paris Hilton at this point.
Right? One of the things that Trump said that I thought was hilarious, he said, if I don't win the presidency, just think how boring this all will be. Oh. And I'm like, I would love boring.
Yeah, I would take boring.
I would love boring.
Isn't that what everybody who wants to make America great again wants? Is they wanted it to be boring. They wanted it to be like the 50s. That's what they wanted. They wanted to be like the 50s.
No, but the 50s was when everybody knew their place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's not cool. That's not even boring. That's just like...
Oppression?
Yes.
Yep. Oppression.
Oh my God. Okay.
Anyway, that's when they were...
This was not even supposed to be like,
well,
you were always like, I don't want to talk about politics.
No,
it's like, here we are.
Yeah.
We got 30 minutes into that. But we know our friends still love us no matter of our opinions. And we still love you no matter of your opinions.
That's not nice, Mr. Bowling. He says, back in the kitchen. It's like, oh, okay, well.
Look, I'm barefoot. Or was he talking to you? You're the cook of the family.
I'm the cook, anyway.
Are you barefoot? No, you're not barefoot.
No, I got my chunkless on.
You got your chunkless. I love those things. They're cute.
Thank you. So anyway,
what's coming up? What's coming up? We're going out of town this weekend. It's Halloween. Y'all be safe for Halloween. I don't know what the trick or treating is
We got our
going
skulls on.
Yes, I have my super skulls.
Yep.
It glows in the dark. It's really cool. So if you've visited us, you've been to the Igwe. This is the Igwe. That's the Igwe.
It's a shop that does skull stuff.
Yeah. And they also do, what's her name? Freeman
Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo. And it's really sad. They really bastardize her. They make her like a little doll, and she's got like a big head.
Baby Frida.
Like, it's terrible.
Everybody
I feel
loves Baby
bad
Frida.
for Frida Kahlo. She's rolling over in her vest and her grave. Anyway, Halloween's coming up.
Yes.
We don't know what's happening. I guess that's like a city by city, county by county, neighborhood by neighborhood. If people are going to go out and trick or treat,
We're going to go to a resort and party.
we're going to go to a resort and party.
Wow.
And yeah. And then we'll be back for a week. And then where are we going? Oh, and then we're going to Dallas.
Yeah, so we're going to Dallas to go watch the non-football game.
We're going to go watch the Steelers kick ass in Dallas. And that better happen like that. And it's going to be right after the election. So
And they're
we'll see.
still going to be counting mail-in ballots. But yes, it's
Yeah.
going to be right after the election.
Nobody's conceding. We're going to see. The election day is on the 4th. And the game we're going to... What? The 3rd?
The election's on the 3rd.
The 3rd. And the game we're going to is on the 8th.
8th. Yeah.
So
It'll
we'll
all be
see.
said and done.
We'll see. We're not going to be rioting or picketing or doing anything bad or crazy.
Oh, what? A singer's coming to see us for his. Oh, for his. He's coming down. Oh, so Michael's coming down to.
You made it?
No, Michael's coming down to. No, he's going to San Antonio.
Ah, for his birthday?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, we're not going to be there.
we're not gonna be there.
But tell all our friends in San Antonio, hi, Michael.
Hello.
You know who they are.
Yeah.
We'll miss seeing you. We're sorry you couldn't come to
Playa del Carmen.
Paradiso.
El Paradiso.
Paradiso. Is it Paradiso or Paradiso?
Paradiso.
Paradiso.
Yeah.
I'm still learning my
Oh,
Espanol.
you're great. We gotta sign off. We're like
Super overtime.
Necesito practicar. We're only at 15 minutes overtime. So we just made up for last week. We were short. So I hope you guys will join us again next Tuesday. We're every Tuesday at 6:30.
Or next spring, if you're the Bowlings, yes, please come.
Yes, and come April, we'll be here April through September. Will be a nice time for you to come and visit.
Yes.
Yay! So we're gonna be in the same condos. So
Yep.
we like it here.
We love it.
I think we said in another episode that we were staying through September of next year because we got lots of swimming and scuba diving and carrying on to do.
Carrying on. Lots of carrying on.
Lots of resorting. We're gone resorting.
Okay.
We're gonna call it.
Yeah, but I was trying to think if there was something else. Okay, we're going to Dallas, and then I guess that's it. All right, so happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
If you want to see any of our other episodes, you can find us at Presently Somewhere
On YouTube's.
on YouTube. And join us here every Tuesday at 6:30. And until next time, stay okay.
Okay.